to Teachers Off Duty. For those of you that might not have tuned in with us before, my name is Rebecca Rogers. I'm R. Rogers World on all social media platforms.
I'm Tell Williams, Mr. Williams Pre-K on all social media platforms.
I'm Bree Richardson, Honest Teacher Vibes on all social media platforms.
And I'm Lauren Woolley, Mrs. Woolley and Fifth on all platforms.
Bree, did you know it's spring break?
Yes, I did.
And
because I'm sleepy.
Okay, hype it up, please. Me and Bree are gonna spend all spring break together. So she's sleepy because she's like trying to just get like pumped for it.
I'm really jealous,
energy.
by the way. I just want you to know. I'll be sitting at home just like watching your Instagram stories and be like, because I'm gonna be so mad.
Such a tune of time of your life.
Own trip.
So we're going on comedy tour.
I'm excited.
We are going to the Florida area for the spring break. It's kind of like MTV spring break, but like with us.
Not MTV spring break.
Okay, it'll
I
be
won't
like
be doing any of those shenanigans.
I meant because it's in Florida.
Okay, well, you better clarify.
Okay, because it's in Florida, it feels like that. So we're gonna do comedy tour. It's like a stand-up moment.
What are you gonna be doing?
I'm gonna just I don't know.
It's gonna be fun though.
Weird.
It's gonna be fun. We are like doing a big Board Teachers comedy tour with it'll be me, Tell, Gary Brooks, Casey McFunny, Devin Siebold, and Jess Smith, Teacher Tells and Miss Smith.
Vinny.
And Mr. Thomas English.
Oh my gosh.
Whose
so
name is
funny.
Vinny. He's a British guy. He loves me though, so he won't mind that I try to talk.
British guy.
British guy. It's perfect accent.
I love
He's
him.
freaking amazing. He's hilarious. So Board Teachers has like all this up on the Board Teachers Facebook page, Instagram. You can buy tickets. You can go to Board Teachers Facebook page and click the link to buy tickets. It's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be insane. Y'all love me, so I know you're gonna want to come see me be funny. Unless I choke on stage and throw up, then you can talk about that too.
Yeah.
So.
Ew. I don't know if I'm
I'll
going
be
to go
there to catch your
anymore.
bomb.
That's nasty. Pre-K teachers be like, I'll catch your vomit.
It's okay.
That's nasty AF.
Let me
Tuesday
know
for
which
us.
show you're going to vomit at, because that's one I won't
the one
come
we're
to.
not.
Oh my
attending.
gosh. We're also doing a show in Boston and Philly for their spring break. So
In April,
different
yeah.
state. What do you say? Northeast?
The Northeast.
I'm directional.
So we'll be in
challenged,
New
so
York, Philly.
Just look at
Plane,
All of the
another
places
plane,
up
club,
north.
another
Where
club.
it's cold outside.
It's gonna be fun though, y'all.
It'll be
That
fun.
many different personalities on stage, like
I know.
it's
I can't
gonna be
imagine.
epic. You absolutely 100% do not want to miss it.
And the
It's gonna
cool
be so
thing is
fun.
that you guys are going over like spring break, which is exactly what we wanted to talk
Oh
to you
yeah.
guys about
Oh
today.
yeah. You know what? I
Spring
like
break.
Becca because she always brings
She's
it
like-
back. She's like, we're gonna circle back.
You want me to
Are
give
you
you
gonna
the
circle back and
segue?
table this discussion kind of person?
No, I've
You'll
never
circle.
said that in my life.
Oh, I love
circle
saying
back and
that.
I love
table this.
circle
I'm like,
back.
no, let's talk about it now.
No, I like that. So many
Those
people.
typical business phrases.
I know.
like
so
when
many
you're
people were at home
working
with their
in an
spouses
office.
during COVID, and they heard their spouse on
know, right?
Zoom. Like,
I don't know
I did not
you.
know my husband was like a circle back. Let's table this
Right.
discussion and circle back kind of guy.
You know what's worse than that? I hope this email finds you well. No email.
No.
I do not. When I'm on break, no, I do not
No
check
email.
No,
email.
you know
I
what that
don't know
email is
email.
finding me doing? Laying on the couch watching Netflix. That's
Is
what
that
I'm
what you do
doing.
for spring break?
What?
Is that what you do for spring break?
That's what I used to do for spring break.
Oh,
so,
you fancy now?
Well, so no. So obviously, your first couple years of teaching, and maybe even past that, like I don't know about y'all, but I was broke as a joke.
Oh, not even
Broke
funny.
is a
I
joke.
didn't have 2 pennies to rub together.
Man.
So I would do a staycation all the way. Like spring break was me. Like that, because you know me, I never like don't have my makeup on when I'm like going somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's that's
And
just
I look
what
ugly
I do.
all the time. Like,
So-
y'all gonna see me be ugly. I ain't putting no makeup on all
Spring
the time.
break, like I look like a goblin. Like I am not. I am
killing me
not
when you
getting
say you
ready.
look like a goblin. I
I
hate
look
when
like
you
a
say that.
goblin, and I'm okay with it. I am
hate
not
when you
doing my
say
hair.
that.
I'm not doing my makeup. I'm gonna wear the same sweatpants 5
Do
days in
my
a
friend
row.
like
I don't
that.
care. I'm gonna curl
love
up in a
that.
blanket on my couch, and I'm gonna binge watch
As you
Criminal
should.
Minds.
It's
That's what
giving
I'm gonna do.
Gremlin.
Yes,
As
that
you
is
should.
my show.
As you should.
But-
You
Oh
know
my
what?
gosh.
Yeah, as you should.
I was gonna say, but now it's different because I'm married. So now my husband's parents have a condo in Myrtle Beach, so I get to like live fancy off of them.
Okay.
So we go and stay with
who
them.
lives close to your condo in Myrtle Beach?
I know the last time I was down there, before I even knew Becca in person, the last time I was in Myrtle Beach, I was actually like texting her back and forth, and she was like, I'm only like an hour away, and we were gonna meet up, and then it just didn't happen. But
Now it's gonna happen every time.
yeah, so
Every
we'll meet up. Well, you guys are on your
Love
comedy tour. We'll meet up
That
in
was
Myrtle
my
Beach.
own spring break.
Is that what you're doing for
that's
spring break?
cute.
So I've actually only had one real spring break before because
What?
like I had my first year teaching and then
Yeah.
COVID. Like I've never.
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
So I've,
So
I've
wild to
never
me.
really had my own, because I taught virtually for 2 years.
Way to
Yeah.
make me
during
feel
COVID,
old.
and,
Thank
like,
Okay.
you.
you're only like a year older than me. But yeah, so
Not you with your pinky out while you drinking that drink. The higher the pinky, the fancier you
When
are.
in doubt,
Like,
pinky
super
out.
and my first year teaching over spring break, I was doing final touch-ups for Avery and my wedding.
That
And
is
so
not
that,
a way to. I would want to spend a spring
that-
break.
Oh, let me tell you, planning a wedding is such a monster.
Yeah, you know when you shouldn't get married? October, because
I
teacher.
know. I know.
Oh my
But I was
gosh.
like, I'm gonna be different. Everyone gets married
I'm gonna
in
be
June and
different.
July.
I'm
I'm gonna get
unique.
married in October.
Okay.
Look
Same
where that
thing.
got you.
I know.
Stressed out. Follow
What do
the
you mean?
grain.
Look where that got her married.
Well,
You know what?
yeah, but like,
you're right. You're right.
but like
you're
the
right.
journey there.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's stressful.
rough.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
stressful.
so all I really ever did over like a real spring break was plan a wedding, and I never really had a real spring break.
So
since
what'd you do?
then.
Like the one spring break that you had that
plan
was
a
real?
wedding?
I thought you said you only had one. That
COVID
Yeah,
is still a
yeah, and
thing.
I used it to
Shut
plan a
up.
wedding.
No, I mean like my pearls. If I hadn't just taken them off for this episode,
dang well you ain't
Never.
talking about nobody clutching they pearls. Cause baby, you could make a sailor blush. I know you ain't talking about nobody clutching they pearls.
oh, it's.
And
I mean,
I'm a little raunchy, and you be making me clutch
this is
my
why.
pearls.
This is why for their spring break they need to come see us because
Oh
they.
my
I was
gosh.
concerned for a second. You were about to call yourself crunchy. I'm like, you are not.
I ain't
You are
crunchy at
not
all.
crunchy.
Soggy.
Like, don't-
Ain't
Anti-crunch.
Anti-crunchy. Mom group drop out.
I don't
mom
even know
group
what that
drop
means.
out. I'm a mom group dropout.
I don't. I,
Okay, there's this girl, and I'm just gonna at her because it's literally her tag on TikTok. Nothing bad. It's
Oh,
just her.
girl, I was like, you better throw that shade on nobody.
No.
Take my name off.
Her tag is really very crunchy, and she does like parodies
crunchy mom
about
thing.
crunchy moms,
Yeah,
which
she's
is like
so funny.
If
the
she does
mom where
not-
she's like, I knit your sweater from our wool sheep or our wool
wools.
from our sheep in the backyard that I sheared myself, and I'm making your lunch out of organic tomatoes and broccoli that I grew in our garden. Like
I
without
have-
pesticides
I'm like, my
and
kid
blah,
ate
blah, blah, blah.
Cheetos off the floor for dinner
I
last
have to
night.
see her do one where they go to like Florida or like Cancun for spring
So
break.
funny.
Can you imagine?
crunchy
I
mom
don't-
on spring
crunchy
break.
mom on spring break. I
Wait, speaking of moms on spring break, what about mom teachers?
Yo, I'm jealous at all the stuff that y'all been saying y'all do because I be at the house with my
walk me
tiny
through, walk me through
toddler.
a spring break. Walk me through a spring break.
Listen, okay, y'all get to go home and you know what I'm saying, have a good little nap and sleep in and watch TV. My child be up bright and early at 7:02. Hey, mommy, girl, you up before Jesus? Go back to sleep, please.
7:02
I'm
is
tired.
way too early.
I'm tired. And my daughter, like,
Wait,
when she
what time
wakes
does
up,
what time does Jesus get up?
7 o'clock.
not till 8:10.
No, she said
Oh.
you up
8:10.
before 8:10.
8:10. That's when my class started. And I know Jesus is there with me. So
Okay,
8:10 is when.
I just needed to know.
'Cause if not-
'cause I needed to know.
I'm already like teacher tired and teacher mom tired. The camera people over here trying not to laugh.
I mean, they are losing their minds. And then we have our producer over here who's like immediately like contacting legal. He's contacting legal. He's
Cancel it,
contacting
cancel
the
it.
Pope. Can we talk
Cancel
about when
it.
Jesus wakes up?
Cancel
He's
I can see the headlines
the
now.
Pope now.
Teachers talk about Jesus'
Jesus
arrival
wakes up
at
time
8:10.
at school
8:10
every morning.
a.m.
Yeah.
That's why they have to put cameras in the classroom.
Hey, my kids know. Do not talk to me till 8:10. They already know. This is when the bell ring and I'm done with half of my cup of
Yeah,
coffee. Don't
you gotta
talk to me
her
till
before that. You better
8:10.
be praying.
But
No, they
okay,
can't.
Jesus ain't gonna be here
isn't
till
there yet.
8:10. Jesus ain't showing up till 8:10. So
There's
you
no one to pray to. He ain't
No.
in there
Oh
yet.
my gosh.
He's still
better call
sleeping. He
Tyrone.
is not there.
You better call Tyrone. You better Erica Badu
So
and call
do
Tyrone.
you do something fun with your daughter over break?
You know what? I'm so busy, especially now, like with social media stuff and being a teacher. I try to, like, when me and Peyton, like, if we have a break, I take her to the park more. I take her,
Yeah.
we don't really do the pool because it's still cold, depending on what day it is in Mississippi.
Right.
We have, like, every season in one day in Mississippi sometimes.
North
It'll be like
Carolina,
winter
yeah.
in the morning, spring in the...
When is your spring break? Because I think we all are in different states. What's your
Mine's March 13th through the 18th.
Mine
When is
is
yours?
not until April 15th
April?
because
wouldn't-
of Easter.
Girl, if I would have had to make it to
When's yours?
April, child.
So our districts would change every year. It would either be the end of March or it would be the beginning of April, and it would be different every single
April is
year.
spring
I want to
break?
say ours was April because like the first week, and I think the reason why is because our school was wild.
Really?
there's articles written about our school
Oh, no.
on spring break.
Oh God.
Your college or your high school?
My high school.
Well, I thought you were talking about
And
the college.
you
I
know
was like,
who you are.
Ooh.
They
You
know
article.
who
I mean,
you
it was
are.
Calling
it was
people out
quite
today.
scandalous, really.
Oh, what happened?
I can't get into that details, but
my
I could never.
goodness.
But it was wild.
That's crazy.
But so what they started doing is, I'm positive we started going in April because it was not during the college's spring breaks to kind of deplete the thing. But
That's what it was.
it was kind of like a very like Laguna Beach moment, if you know that TV show.
Yeah.
If you know. Like everyone would go like to Siesta Key, like that's where we all went, and so like, and not like together,
High
just everyone's
schoolers?
family, every high schoolers, Siesta
What
Key,
the
babes.
heck?
Listen,
Where were
okay,
your
when I was a
parents?
senior
There
in
with
high
you.
school, we were graduated from high school, and I asked my mom because my brother did the same thing 2 years earlier. He and his friends after graduation hopped in a van and drove their butts to Myrtle Beach and stayed there for a week and just like hung out at Myrtle for a week. They're 18 years old, so me. Being strong-willed, I'm like, I can drive 12 hours to Myrtle Beach by myself with my friends.
Oh, no.
Why can't I go, mother? And she's like, you're a girl. I'm like, that's not a reason.
Feminism.
Just because, feminism.
Burn the
yeah,
bras,
but
yeah.
now
the
looking
bras.
back 10 years later, I'm like, no, I could not do
See,
that. But
the thing that
I would
gets
never.
me is these parents are like, "Oh yeah, honey, go by yourself with your high school friends," and blah blah blah, and it's the teachers that don't know what's inappropriate. Like,
No.
I'm sorry.
So my mom worked for the school. She was a social worker. And so she worked for the school. So I did not realize like spring breaks, like I thought it was like for us, but it was definitely for Miss Betty. Like she was like needed to live for a moment. And I remember all she wanted
Bless
to do,
Betty.
this was like the like spring break fail. So we go to Siesta Key. We stayed in the same like condominium resort place. So you had to be like, kind of like where we're staying. Like you had to be buzzed in.
Okay.
And my mom and my aunt could not figure out the system to get in the
Oh
gate.
my gosh.
So we stood there for 2 hours. No
Nuh-uh.
one's coming in. I don't know why we flew in so late. We sat there. No one came. They finally figured out we get in. Everything's fine. The first day we're there, we're at the beach. Now I tan well. I almost never burn. So for some reason, the tops of my feet crisp, burnt. Never in my life has the top of my foot been burnt. So we are just like trying to do whatever we can. I mean, boiled. It was bad.
Ooh.
So we go to a restaurant, and there's a staff member carrying the most alcohol I've ever seen on a tray, and I don't know what happened, but it fell and dumped all over me.
Nuh-uh.
And my mom and my aunt were so upset, and they were like, we're not asking for like a comped meal, but this is a pretty well-known restaurant, so they have like a gift shop. So they came and gave me a shirt that was like 2 sizes too small, and then these like pants or whatever, but didn't give me any like thing for my feet. So they were like, okay, that's fine. So my parents got me flip-flops with a burn. The worst pain of my life. And I'm thinking like,
oh no.
right, like what kind of spring break is this? Burnt feet the entire time.
That's terrible.
At that point, just cut
Walking
them
around.
off.
That's terrible.
I mean, I
cut off the
contemplated.
feet.
That's
I
terrible.
contemplated.
You know, I have sympathy for you, and you want to know why? I really thought black people can sunburn. Child, I went to. I'm shamed, y'all. I am absolutely shamed. If you are melanated out there, we can sunburn, best friend. You better put some sunscreen on. But this whole trip to the Florida, I went to the Florida Keys last year with 3 teachers. And we were out at the beach, and they were like, you probably want to put some sunscreen on. I was like, black people don't wear sunscreen. And they were like, okay. And I was like, I'm 32 years old. I've literally never burned in my entire life. So we were sitting out at the beach for a long time, and I'm living my best life, okay? It was fun. We having a good time. I get back to the condo, and I get in the shower, and I'm like, dang. Did I get stung by a bee or something while I was out at the beach? My shins were like burning. I was like, what is happening? Like, did I get I thought I got stung by a jellyfish or something. I was like, why is my skin burning? So I get out of the shower and I start trying to dry. I'm like, my skin is like on fire. And they were still at the beach. So they came back, and I managed to get like my t-shirt and some shorts on. And they came in, I was like, oh, what is wrong with my skin? They were like, Bree, you probably have a sunburn. I'm sunburned like crap and still saying, black people don't get sunburned.
I know it's a giant
And
jellyfish.
they're like, bro,
It's a big
you
jellyfish.
you're sunburned. Y'all, I have never, and I lived in Haiti one summer for 3 weeks, and I never wore sunscreen, and I didn't burn. I guess the sun was just different,
Global
like where
warming,
we
I get
were
it, yeah.
in Florida. And y'all, that was so painful. I could not put my shirt on. I could not lay down in my bed. We went to like every Walgreens we could go to in this little small town trying to find some aloe vera.
Sea breeze.
Baby,
Sea
it was
breeze.
like
And
Jesus
vinegar.
had come down off the clouds when they put that aloe vera on my skin.
Did they put in the refrigerator?
Yes,
Yep.
glory.
No,
I
I'm
was
telling
in
you. Okay,
pain,
so
Was it
man.
after 8:10?
So, okay.
I was in pain.
Going off of sunburns, like my husband always burned really easily. Didn't matter if he was out in the sun for 5 minutes, he was getting roasted, toasted.
Dang.
So we went, he like a long time ago was in a band and they were signed by a record label. They toured the country. It was like a whole thing. And it was the day before his tour was supposed to start. And there's like a local beach area near us called Presque Isle. And so we went there for the day with my mom and we were just kind of hanging out on the beach, having a nice time. And then as we're driving home, he started complaining about feeling sick. And I was like, oh maybe you just got too much sun. Like you'll
Sun
be
poisoning?
okay. Yeah. We get home and he's like really, really red, like lobster red,
Dang.
nauseous as can be, and he's like laying dead on the couch. This boy got sun poisoning all over his body, like
Did he not put
forehead.
SPF on?
Oh, he did.
Dang.
Forehead, arms, like blistering.
Dang.
So,
How long were y'all out?
like, just the day.
Dang.
But we went home and like we got him, like I'm telling you, Sea Breeze. It's like it's like
You
an
know what? I
astringent.
tried to put Sea
and you
Breeze
put
on
it
and it did not
oh
feel
God,
good.
My
it is the
gosh.
best.
Sea Breeze
I
didn't
think
feel good on me.
people need to reapply.
Sea Breeze
But here's
didn't
where
feel
it
good.
gets
I thought you were
bad.
talking
It
about
gets
wine
worse.
coolers.
It gets worse.
No.
So he was all sunburnt, sun poisoning. We go to his show and
He still
the
did the
very next-
show?
Oh, he went on tour the next day because my husband plays lead guitar.
How you put his
and he was in a post-hardcore band, so they're like jumping around the stage, like they're not like just sitting.
No,
and
it's
chill.
like Simple
No.
Plan
He
style.
He has the guitar strap
I got
across his
sympathy
shoulder and his
pains.
chest,
Sympathy pains.
playing guitar, and then when he got off the stage, his entire shoulder and like chest area were like raw.
No.
Oh
No,
my God, it
hard
was
pass.
the worst sunburn I've
Hard
ever
pass.
seen in my life. Well, we were like, why do you burn so easily? Like, what is going on? Here, the medication that he was on for his colitis, we read the label and
not
it's
supposed to be in the
sensitivity
sun.
to light and sun.
Oh my gosh.
And that's why he was burning so badly. So, moral of the story, check your medications if you get really
Oh.
bad
Well,
sunburns.
shoot, now I need to check mine because I'm like, one of my medications make me sunburn. I need to know.
Maybe.
That's happened to me
know.
before.
It was
so
bad.
like when I was in high school, I got West Nile fever. And
What
like
Is that the same as West Nile virus?
Yeah, what is that?
yeah, it's like the
West
same.
Nile virus.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
maybe,
okay.
I,
The
maybe I said it
mosquitoes?
wrong. I don't
The
know.
West
mosquitoes.
Nile virus?
The
Yeah,
mosquitoes.
it might
Okay.
be West Nile virus, not.
I was like,
mosquitoes.
West
I don't know
Nile
what I'm talking
fever? What's
about.
that?
Oh my God. I was like, is that a new one?
So traumatizing. I like couldn't remember what it was called.
The
But
bubonic
anyways,
plague.
I got it when I was a sophomore in high school, and I remember they gave me like this medication for it, and like when I tell you, just seeing sunlight hurt, just seeing it.
Even if you weren't out in it.
Yes, like
Dang.
even like my mom had to like pad up the windows. Like I'm telling you, seeing light hurt my body. I cannot even begin to describe how excruciating just looking at sunlight was. And I like a week after taking my medication, all my friends wanted to go on spring break, and I was like, I can do it. I could not do it.
Of course not.
I got like a mile out of my neighborhood in the back of my friend's car, and I was
Ooh.
sobbing. I was turn around.
Oh,
Take me back! Take me back!
And
No.
come to find out, like my mom went to go get like a refill of the prescription, and the pharmacist just like stopped and stared, and my mom was like, "What?" And they're like, "Did you not get like our email or our voicemails?" My mom was like, "I don't think so. Why?" "Oh, well, like we definitely recalled that medication because like grown men couldn't tolerate, and like I was a 16-year-old girl at the time. Grown men could not tolerate like this medication." They're like, "How did she take it?" My mom was like, "I told her to take it." And
why
she
would
took
they?
it. Like,
Oh
I
my
don't
God,
know.
we finna sue y'all.
It was Oh my God, I cannot.
The
That's
FDA didn't
terrible.
count
It was
that
the
one.
most excruciating pain I
That was
ever
not a good
witnessed.
spring
And
break.
I've
So
had
And
you
a
that's
just-
how
spinal
Becca
tap.
became a billionaire.
Oh my God. Did you just lay in the bed the whole spring break?
I'll be honest, I don't even like remember. I don't even remember being on medication except for the few times I can remember seeing sunlight. Like that is
That's
all I
crazy.
remember.
It's like a core memory.
It was. I remember being in the back of my friend's car, and I remember my mom moving like one of the blinds things, and I just remember screaming like, "Turn it off!"
So you were a vampire
now.
briefly.
Yes, absolutely. That's why I was like
Twilight
a
No,
Twilight
she
fan.
was
for real.
a
I was
zombie.
a huge
Awesome.
high school
The
Twilight
zombie.
fan. But then in college, instead of like everyone, you all went to like the beach over spring break. But when I was in college, Avery's family always took us to Gatlinburg in Tennessee.
Okay, I have a funny story for you.
Love
Keep
Gatlinburg.
going.
And
Keep going.
I had like my Disney princess moment because we went to this place called Cades Cove,
this
and they
Disney
have
princess.
domesticated deer. And like I literally just like ran around.
Oh my God. Becca frolicking with the deer.
And I'll
Frolicking
never
with the deer.
forget, like, I for those of you that don't know, I'm deathly afraid of birds. I don't like birds. They freak me out. I will literally cry if
How are
one
you gonna
gets
be a
near
Disney
me.
princess and not like birds?
Send,
Deer,
send Becca
okay?
all the bird decor.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
for
Don't
her
put,
home.
don't put no P.O. box on your TikTok. Everybody sending
taxidermy
birds.
birds just to like in,
Oh my
in,
God,
in
if you send me an
droves.
actual bird, I will find you. You will be sorry. Like, do not send me a bird. I will
Becca, you
cry.
threatening people. Don't be
Somehow I'm
threatening
not
us.
afraid of that.
I
I'm gonna
will-
send her a bird.
I
Don't
am a
worry,
bird.
guys.
I
I'll
will
do it. I'll
literally
take one for
cry.
the team. I'll
Wait,
send
wait,
Becca
wait.
the bird and see what
I will
happens.
start sobbing. I'm not kidding. Like, they freak me out. But my husband and his family were like, the deer can literally trample you. Like, why are you like? Don't go.
A
so
deer
close
can
to
trample
them.
somebody?
But they're
Yes.
they're domesticated. Wouldn't they be?
Maybe
not-
a moose, but not a
I
deer.
don't think no deer
have
could
you
trample
not seen,
nobody.
like there used to be this viral video when I was a lot younger of like this wild deer, like this dog tried to approach it, and the deer was like attacking.
Good,
the
don't
dog, and the
approach me if
neighbors
I don't
were all,
wanna be
like,
approached.
Freaking out.
The deer was like, "Excuse you."
Excuse me,
He-
sir.
the
Deer
dog was
can be
the dog was probably
dangerous.
trying to be like, "Hey, we just want to talk to you about your car's extended warranty."
They could be super dangerous. But tell me about your Gatlinburg story.
So I don't think everyone goes to beaches for spring break, and it was literally my first. This is oh my God, my first year teaching. Spring break happens, and I'm like dating someone, and they're like, "Do you want to go somewhere for spring break?" And I'm like, "Absolutely." And so I was like, "Beach," and they're like, "Let's go to Nashville," and I'm like, "Oh,
Not
okay,
beach.
like not beach, but that's fine."
Ain't nothing
So
to do
we
with Nashville.
drove.
Cowboy bars.
Yeah, so right.
Cool.
Like,
What
What do
I
you mean?
love
Where
that.
you can take photos in front of murals.
I'm happy you broke up with him because I'm from Jackson, Tennessee, and we do not go to Nashville to do
for,
nothing.
for spring break too. So, but I drove too. So here's the thing. I'm a terrible driver, and I just got a new car. So I live I where I grew up was the called Michiana. So it was the Michigan and Indiana border. So when I got my car, I got it in Michigan because it was 10 minutes down the road. And so that's where I got the car. I came back, and then it had the Michigan temporary thing, and the Indiana one didn't come. So Indiana gave me one from the BNB. I don't think anything of this. So I drive with temporary plates. I just bought the car in Nashville. And we went to go get a Soda Stream because we were there for a week, and I don't know why we thought, let's buy a Soda Stream for the hotel room, but we did. And it didn't work. So we go back to the Walmart to return it. It's like 11 o'clock at night. And we're driving, and I'm getting pulled over. And I'm like, why am I getting pulled over? I know I'm a bad driver. I'm not breaking any laws. Apparently, we are in the highest drug trafficked highway.
Oh,
And they are pulling me over because they're like, why do you have two different temporary plates from different states on a brand new car? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I don't think about
No
cars.
idea.
They're like, okay, so there's like dogs there already. And they're like, we have probable cause. Like, this is really weird. I was like, probable cause for what? And they're like, where are you going? We said Walmart. And they said, we know what's behind Walmart.
We said
That's where everyone goes.
Walmart.
And they said, Walmart's closed. I'm like,
We
oh,
know
no,
what's behind
I don't know.
Walmart.
I'm not
What's
from
behind
here.
Walmart?
Right. I'm like, I'm not from here. Clearly,
This is in
Michigan and
Nashville?
Indiana. This is Nashville. Like, just
they always
outside.
pulling somebody over.
So they pull me over, and they're searching the car, and I'm just like making like conversation with one of the officers. The dog's like going through it, and then the dog starts barking. I'm like, this is a brand new car. What is it? They go in there. They find like my Tums that I had packed that I like, spilled in there, and they're like, what is this? And I'm like, Tums. And they're like, why? I'm like, I have very bad diarrhea. He's like, what? I'm like, my stomach doesn't feel good. I have very bad diarrhea. And I just started dating the Skidoo, so I don't want him to hear this. And they're like, what? I'm like, I have bad diarrhea. I showed them the actual pill bottle that has the matching pills, and they let us go. Do you know how embarrassing that was? Have to drive back then?
But that's something that would only happen to you.
But here's the thing
was
about
mortified.
that was probably so Franklin, Tennessee is close to Nashville,
It might have been
and
there.
that's where all the bougie rich people live. And let's be real about how they ain't got no crime in Franklin, Tennessee. They ain't got nothing to do because if that was Memphis, baby, they not
No.
finna pull you over for that. You can go 100 miles. The speed limit is suggested. festive in Memphis. They're not gonna pull you
Oh,
up for
I
nothing.
was first time my car's ever been searched. I'm like on a spring first year teaching. That's how I spent it in cold
And you had to tell
Nashville.
your boyfriend that you had diarrhea.
I think I-
Explosive.
I'm so sorry.
Explosive
Explosive.
diarrhea.
Okay, so that's what happened to Tell on spring break. But
Yes.
I asked some of you guys on Instagram what happened when the teachers went on spring break, and these were some of their answers. And then I want to hear what
gosh.
you think teachers would do. Okay, so some of them were like, pretty basic ones, like they went on spring break or they went
Right.
to the beach.
No way.
Wrong. They stayed in their houses like hermits.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Not me.
They take off their skin and relax. Can you just picture like teachers literally like just unzipping and
Unpeeling.
crawling out of our teacher skin?
What
Like-
kind
But
of?
do
This
they
was a
hang, like-
child or a grown person that did?
I don't know.
Are we hanging out
Well,
as
their
skeletons, or are we hanging
mascot,
out
like their
as
little
emails?
icon
Or
is
emails,
Stitch, so I'm assuming it's a
aliens?
child.
Right.
I literally just said, are we hanging
This
out
why our
as
kids don't
emails?
respect us. They think we walking around in somebody else's skin. Is it our skin or
Conspiracy
somebody
theory,
else's skin?
We're lizard people and we just
Ugh.
hide in the
Are
skin.
we skeletons or are we lizard people?
I'm a lizard person.
I'm stressed out about this whole conversation.
Okay, they burnt the school down accidentally and had to
Sydney
rebuild
did.
it.
Accident.
And had to rebuild it. Yeah,
What
accidentally.
were they doing at the school?
Burned
What
it down
was
on
happening?
purpose.
How did
What was
it burn
happening there?
down?
Campfire?
Yeah, campfire.
I was smoking a pack of Newport shorts, burned the
We
school
were just
down.
making
That was so
s'mores in the chemistry
specific.
building.
Very specific brand. Go on.
I don't smoke, guys.
This is a realistic answer. They never came back because they were all burnt out.
That is
Yeah.
Burnt house so bad they burned down the school.
with a pack of Newport shorts.
They slept in their coffins.
I mean, technically, you did that for a spring break. We just heard it.
Coffin.
I was a vampire.
Bro,
Like,
what is okay? This
She,
episode.
hey,
Okay, this is flawed though because teachers go to school during the daytime.
let me see. Oh, they all ran into their students and their Karen moms.
my goodness.
I would never leave a beach faster. If I ran into a student,
I'm going.
Bye.
because I'm not going to be sober when you see me.
No.
If you
Oh
see me on spring
gosh.
break, I will not be.
I could have driven 3 hours to get to the beach, and I would buy immediately.
been like, oh,
immediately
very-
no.
very booked
You
Immediately
said
no.
they're Karen mom. What kid submitted that? Sorry, students and their Karen mom.
I mean, we told you in the last couple episodes, the kids know.
The kids know. The
They
kids
know.
Do you think kids know if their mom is a Karen?
probably,
Absolutely.
Oh.
probably.
Absolutely,
I'm
they
sure
do.
they get embarrassed.
The worst
Absolutely.
spring break
I'm
moment ever.
sure.
They're like, Mom, stop.
I don't know her. I'm adopted. She kidnapped me.
See, but I'm really interested because I think a lot of that included like going to the beach. And I think a lot of kids assume I'm going to this really fancy spring break place. So that means my teachers are going. I think a lot of kids really think that.
We ain't got no money.
No. And I think there are some teachers who are able to go, but I think a lot of kids don't realize that most of the time that's because their spouses might have.
Yeah,
That kind of
and a lot of
funds for
teachers are
that.
working their second job full time over spring break.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah,
Not-
you think we have one job?
That's cute. I want to know. Let's have some real talk for a minute.
Okay.
I love real talk.
I want to know why on Al Gore's internet is it such. I want to know. I want to know. Why is it so frowned upon for teachers to sit down? Like, why can I not? Why I can't sit down? Why when y'all come in, I'm sitting down, y'all looking at me crazy? Why is it frowned upon? Why I can't stand up for 8 hours all day long. My feet hurt. These kids got on my nerves. My feet hurt. I got bunions. I want to sit down for a second.
Why are they
But
making you
let
stand?
alone like how creepy
Is it
that
not
is
frowned
to
upon?
like. Oh no, it is. But yeah, at my old school, like what you were describing earlier about like principal pops in and you hop up immediately if you're
Yeah.
sitting. Yeah, at my old school, like I literally had my principal. Like they didn't want you away from those kids at any point in time. So like at one point I was sitting at my desk. I just happened to like glance over at my email because I was getting my doc camera set up, and my principal sent me an email.
Wait,
so
your
I
what?
click on
Your
my
doc-
email.
Document camera?
Document camera.
There's a dog camera. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
got
my
a dog in
dog.
your
I
car?
like to watch my dog.
Is
at
that
work.
your class
Dog
pet?
at home.
It's class
But-
pet.
Hey kids, look.
So
Class pet.
I checked my email and she sent me an email. So I click on the email and she was asking me a question. I just quickly respond, send it, and I'm back with the kids. She emailed me back and said, "Thank you for your timely response. However, you are with the children right now. Please do not respond until you are on your own
Why
time."
did you send it? it?
I was
It was
like,
probably
you
like-
Did you
sent
send
me
it?
this email.
It was
but
probably
like,
priority
yeah,
too.
it's the same thing. It's that gotcha kind of mentality of like you were sitting down, you weren't with the children. But how creepy would that be? Like getting up and just hovering around the
I'm
kids
gonna
all
go.
day.
I'm gonna get in my car. I'm gonna roll the windows down. I'm gonna drive down the street and see if I can find where these principals get their audacity.
Also, they sit all day. Most principals
Hey,
sit
you
in
be
their
sitting in your
all day.
office. I ain't doing nothing.
I think there's this idea that like when teachers are working in teaching, they are turned like on completely at the front of the room the entire time. But in reality,
I
that's
can't
not
stop.
good
You
teaching
really have
practice.
to enunciate they're turned on, and I love that so much. You were
Oh,
very
I-
specific about the way you
Yeah.
phrased it, and I appreciate that about
Yeah,
you.
I love you. I
Tell.
love you very much. Shut up, we're friends.
cool your jets, man.
But like it's just it's unrealistic to think that the kids won't take 5-10 minutes to work by themselves or work with peers or work in groups, you know. And in that time, yeah, of course the teacher's gonna go check on kids, see what they're doing, but that takes what, 30 seconds?
My thing is like you as admin, y'all know who y'all trash teachers are and who are good teachers.
Right.
If you
I don't
walk
know
in,
if they do.
They do. My admin in my
No,
school,
they
they know.
do.
They know. You know who your teacher is. That they always sit down. They ain't doing no work. Their kids ain't doing no work. Their classroom is in mass chaos. They sitting at their desk. As opposed to your teachers who you know they teaching and they're doing using instructional time wisely, and when they sit down you come in and they sitting down. But again, it's 2022 during a panorama. Y'all ain't got no teachers, so if you walk in and we sitting down, what you gonna do?
Fire us.
Cause y'all go ahead, y'all ain't got no sub,
Can I?
so go ahead.
Can I tell you guys something that's gonna really piss you off?
Well,
Yeah, oh no.
Okay, so in pre-K, you're encouraged to never stand up.
to never stand
Never
up.
stand. You're very.
Is it like to
highly
be on their
encouraged.
eye level?
It's to to be on their eye level and to be engaged in play and learning with the students.
You about to squat down all the time?
No, you sit on the floor
Nah, my knees ain't built for that.
the entire time.
Well, like
Sit on
okay,
the floor.
I get that. I get it.
I mean,
Like
to the
being
point where
on
I would-
eye level and stuff, but
I would get
to
in
never
trouble.
be able to stand up, I
Yeah.
don't think so.
I'm gonna
I
tell you
always-
right
I
now,
was
as a
always
plus
reamed
size
out from
person,
it.
I'm literally not sitting on the floor.
So I
if
had
a kid goes running, I'm gonna have to roll over to get up. To
I had
go
like
to-
an ottoman that I would sit at for story time. That was on our circle rug, and then if I was doing like dramatic play, I would sit like at the kitchen table that we had, or if we're doing crafts, I would sit like obviously you can sit in a chair
Yeah.
for that, but I would get every evaluation I had was like you need to be on the children's level more because I would always stand. Because
Get
I was
on
like,
the
I
ground,
don't
Ted.
want
They do
to
if
be
you have
on the
plus
I
ground.
just
size
see
teachers,
I
they
just
can't
see your
sit on the
like
floor.
administrator coming in the room and seeing you
was
standing up and just be
bizarre.
like on the ground.
I'm not kidding. I one time I was outside with my students and I was sitting. I brought a chair outside and I was like, okay, I'll sit in the chair maybe. But I was standing there and I was going back and forth. They were doing each of them got a square on the sidewalk and they were like, tell on the ground with them. I was like, I don't want to get chalk on my clothes. And they're like, are you kidding me? And I was like, no, please no. So I sat in a chair instead.
I could never.
So
I
that
could
made me
never.
think of like a very quick story.
That could be cracking me up when
I
she be
know.
trying to describe it.
It's very well. Like,
I like
you're-
you.
I like you.
I like your mannerisms.
Thank you. I have a lot of them. But
like 'em.
anyways, I had a substitute come in and he did not leave my chair the entire day according to my kids and even according to my colleagues. And I had like this pink rolly chair. I loved that rolly chair. It was actually like I love the roller chair because when I first got to that school there were no chairs and the secretary found that chair in storage
Yeah.
for me and
The
it was
best.
perfect and it was bright and pink, like I loved it. But anyways, he literally would sit in the chair and just roll it around the room, but he didn't fit in it very well, and so
no.
literally he made like a sharp turn
Oh,
in the
no.
chair.
Oh, no.
And the entire bottom just like
Oh no.
I don't know, it snapped, it
Oh, no.
broke. He fell on the ground, broke my chair,
God,
and then
oh.
left me a note telling me one of the kids did it.
What a filthy liar.
And because I was so mad when I got that note the next day because I loved that chair.
How you gonna
And
blame it on one of the kids?
Oh,
literally-
I 100% would have done the same thing. I blame toots on children.
Now I do that.
I do that.
I just
Absolutely.
remember
I crop dust the whole
And
class
that's
and
on
blame it
trauma.
on the kids. That's on trauma. Crop
I
dust the
sat
whole
at the
class.
front of the room. I was so mad, and I was gonna ask him like, what happened? Tell me what. And I tried to ask him, not in front of the class because I didn't want to like embarrass anyone.
sub?
No, the kid.
Oh,
the kid the next day.
He blamed it on a
Wait,
specific
I was
kid?
gonna say he named a
blamed it on
specific
a
kid.
He
He was like,
I don't
you're
remember
the
which
victim.
child it was.
It's
One of the
you.
children
No,
broke
No,
it.
he like named this kid. He said this kid broke your chair, and I was mad because like this was not a bad kid. I was really concerned. I didn't want to ask him in front of everyone, so I tried to like pull him aside, and I was like, I need to know what happened yesterday with the chair, and he kind of giggled, and I was like,
Oh, he
this
thinks it's
is
funny.
not funny. Like, what happened to my chair? Like, what did you do to, like, what happened? What did you do? And he looked at me, he like stopped dead in his tracks. He goes, what did I do? What do you mean? And I was like, I got a note that you broke my chair. And he looked at me, he's like, Miss Rogers, dead serious. And I was like, no, like, I got this note that you broke my chair. He literally just burst back into my classroom and goes, guys, the sub said that I broke the chair.
Oh my
And the entire
God.
room erupted in laughter, and apparently like the sub broke it and the kid laughed the loudest, and the sub was just so mad and so embarrassed he blamed that kid.
Here's the thing. I'm siding with the sub on this one. I wouldn't have said a specific kid.
What?
I would not have said the kid, the child's name, but I would have blamed it on a child, and immediately took my spring break early.
I just could not believe. I laughed about that for literally
That
a
kid
week.
must have pissed him off because he named him specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
It's like,
John.
a little jerk. I'm going to blame it on him.
Yeah.
He looked bad.
It was
His name sound like
he
he
was
bad.
a pretty good kid. Like, I've never had an issue with him before. He did all his work. Like, he had good grades. He was respectful. He was polite. I don't know what happened. He
Why would he blame
blamed
that
that
on
kid
him?
in the note.
The fact that the whole class bust out laughing, and they knew he was lying.
Oh yeah.
They
Right.
knew he was lying. He's like, dang well he broke that chair.
Or
The same sub. So like I had chargers for like a charging station for the kids, and it was like one little charging thing that had like 8 to 9 little wires where the kids could plug in their phones. And it was great because like if they could put it either at the beginning or the end of class. They couldn't get up in the middle to get it
Right.
unless we were doing an activity with it. It was great. It kept the kids like a little bit more focused during instruction time.
Yeah.
He literally just took one of the wires.
Just took
The
it.
sub took one of the
Man, them
wires.
subs be stealing stuff sometimes, man.
One of the wires.
I lock my stuff up because they steal. Not all of them. Not all subs steal, but some of y'all be stealing stuff.
when we're sitting here, I think to myself, how do we go from spring break to sub stealing? To sub stealing
Because we're
iPhone
teachers.
wires.
Do we really ever stay on track? with
No,
what
but
we're talking about?
I'm like, I feel like we can make an entire episode of things that subs have stolen.
Oh.
No, we love subs. Please keep subbing
No,
because
yes,
we
we
like
love
our
subs.
But
breaks.
y'all know y'all be stealing sometimes. We love
But,
y'all, but y'all
yeah.
be stealing
Like
stuff
our favorite
sometimes.
pen.
Because I stole stuff when I was
It's
a sub.
always
so.
my
Always a
favorite
Oh, y'all be
pen.
stealing.
I started hiding my
I hide my
favorite pens
pens.
because of that.
I had my favorite.
No,
pens.
that sub. That my kid said he went through my entire desk.
Of course.
Oh,
My
I
entire desk.
Snacks and all.
Tells like, yep, me too. I would
same.
do
If
that.
I was in a different room, I'm pulling out each of those drawers and I'm looking in. The first thing we did when I got to the Airbnb, I opened every drawer. I thought,
Note
man,
to
they really cleaned this
self,
place.
You
lock
know what
all
though? Not just
drawers
subs though.
and
Them teachers
desk.
be stealing, especially over summer break. That's why we got to label
Yep.
all our stuff.
Oh yeah, when you have
Teachers
to
be
put everything
stealing
in a
other
room.
teachers' stuff, man.
Oh, yeah.
This is not Mr. Williams' thing, and I'll be like, ma'am, I bought those.
They got my name on it.
But I don't know if we could have derailed more this episode.
I don't
It
think
is
we
what it
have.
is.
Hey,
we're in a
we're on
spring
spring
break
break.
mindset.
But we hope that
Derail
you
however much
enjoyed
we
it.
want
We
to.
hope that you are having a fabulous time on your spring break, whether it's already passed. We hope you had a great time. If it's coming up, we hope you do have a good time.
If you're a mom on
Either
spring
way.
break, shout out to you. Drink some wine. A lot of it.
Either
If
way,
you're not and you're a goblin like me, that's great too.
that's okay. That's fine. We still love you no matter what. We appreciate you guys. We love you. And we hope that you guys had a good time with us today.
Bye.
We love y'all. Bye.
Bye.